Sometimes one has to go outside London to see the rest of the England. So this weekend I was out in the country and then ended up at a place called Bury St. Edmunds. It's a small town with a very beautiful people and has got a lot to show. So I went around, but it's very hard sometimes to tell that this is a different place from London, because the buildings are almost similar to those that we see every day in London. However, there are some features that you identify to be completely different and are very interesting to look at. So those are the items that one looks up to. Walking around the town, the streets are just similar to London, the whole British style. But there were places in areas where one could see that you had a very particular interesting place. The gardens in this area, well-groomed gardens, and the people enjoying a Sunday morning, walking about, looking at the green foliage. It's quite interesting. And the dome of the church was the most interesting part before, but we had to see these ruins. These ruins seem to have been there for ages. I'm not sure about the history about these, but they were quite interesting to look at, and the structures that were just built up in the area, and the paths you could walk up and down and spend the whole day without even noticing time. So there I was, as you can see me. I was prepared, of course, that if there was any sun, my hat was going to protect me. But however, there wasn't much sun, but the foliage and the walking was so interesting. We ended up seeing so many things, and particularly in this area where I saw some birds, caged birds of various types or species. It was quite an interesting piece of encounter. The birds flying inside the cage, jumping from one place to another. Different birds of all kinds. As you can hear the sound of the birds, very interesting. The garden is so well groomed that you would think that it is a place where people really want to go and enjoy the day. There's no doubt about it. And we did really enjoy ourselves that day, looking at all the buildings, the structures, and the nitty-gritty of the buildings. Look at the walls and the wall concrete with stone, and walking in the foliage is so interesting. It's like you're walking in the bush somewhere, but with some buildings appearing here and there, and well maintained paths paved properly for easy walking. even one with a wheelchair would just go around and watch. There I stood watching the place before we proceeded to the church, where there was even more to see. The Church of England is so designed such that it is almost identical to any that you walk in, and it had just been after the coronation, and I could see some features were identical to the church where the coronation took place in London. This was magnificent. Look at the benches in church and the old ceiling. It is quite amazing. And to think that this building was built years back, which means the expertise to construct was within the British people from long ago. And I could not really stop looking at, admiring the church and the models within the church. A complete replica of the church, a miniature one, a minute building representing the older, bigger building. It is wonderful. So the Edmunds Church. As you can see, you could actually read that. Then eventually we ended up at Angel Hotel. So next to the church and then Angel Hotel, it had something to have some biblical story within. Then I was again petrified looking at the hotel before we started on our way back for lunch, and we cruised all along all this footage looking at the old British mastery in building. It doesn't look like in England. Anywhere you go, it's not different, it's just the same. You only have to look at certain structures to learn that you are outside London. So this footage was just along the road on our way back to our residence, where we had visited to have our lunch. And being the beginning of summer, obviously we had something in store for us. As you can see, it's difficult to tell that you're outside London until you get to a place, and then you realize that no, you're not it. And there I was sitting there next to a barbecue unit and having our supper. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. I'm Baba Kobi.